Forget every time. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Hyperspace Hype episode number 41, where we will be discussing a plethora of things, as well as playing some games. Should be fun. A little scavenger hunt, something to shake things up that should be plenty amusing for our different takes of things. But it's a fun episode for sure, covering Chapter 11 of Mandalorian, amongst other stuff. Joining us, as always, we have Evan. If my computer will let me drag.
Right. There we go. Episode 41. So exciting. Can't wait to get to the benchmark of episode 50. I think we'll reach that, I guess, after Mandalorian ends, which is unfortunate, but whatever. That's cool. But yeah, can't wait to talk about this episode. Probably my favorite episode of the season thus far. I know a lot of people liked episode 1, but I feel like this one really kicks the story off into some interesting directions. And that's what I really liked. And Bryce Dallas Howard killed it as she did last season. And then we get to talk about George Lucas having Maul in the sequel trilogy. Maybe, possibly. That was interesting. So yeah, and then we get to play some cool games. I love games and I love winning. So hopefully 2 of those things can happen in this episode.
All right. And also joining us, we have Carson.
What's going on, guys? I have been struggling all week to acquire a PlayStation 5. A very first world problem. But let me tell you, it has been a journey, a not successful journey, met with lots of loading pages and corporate puns on those loading pages based on their availability of nothingness.
The whole North Pole.
No, oh dear, says Walmart.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it's horrible.
You see the tweet that just denounced like all of Santa's reindeer but Rudolph?
Yes. No, I think I said that one yesterday. So the memes at least are keeping me sane, but I don't know. I'm excited to talk about all the stuff that happens in this episode because, like Evan said, it really felt like the kickoff in terms of the plot moving forward heavy-handed in this season. And a lot of the stuff that we've been speculating on and kind of surmising is going to happen, like thematically, especially with the Empire and all the different kinds of Mandalorians and all sorts of stuff. Pretty much we nailed it on the head, and I'm excited to kind of validate ourselves on that stuff. So can't wait.
Okay, so this episode. Okay. Oh, first off, I would like to point out I had a bad time last night, man, because I stayed up. Because also my sleep schedule actually like fixed, but I still stayed up till 3 a.m.
Good for you. Good. I like it for you, man.
But I'm also trying to ruin it because I was watching Mando.
Yeah.
So I was like queued up to do my reaction like I always do. Dude, I was so happy throughout the whole thing, and like there was a couple times where I had to resync because of like buffering issues. I was like, fine, cool, and I go to like stop my record because I did my outro and everything. I look down and it's like I see like my thing starts counting down 3, 2, 1. I was like, wait, what? And it didn't record the entire time.
Wow.
I was my heart has never sank so much because especially of all episodes, this is a like really impactful one. However, I still had my audio. Which was nice. So I still was able to
redub. You're gonna redub yourself.
Yeah, literally. It was a commentary track basically, which was even worse copyright wise for the footage. But I still managed it. But you know what was also annoying is like every time I do that, like I record in Audacity separate with my webcam. So I'll count down for like my syncing, like the 3, 2, 1 on my webcam. I say in my audio 3, 2, 1. So I did hit record. I don't know why it stopped.
That's horrible.
But I digress because it's still fun.
I went to bed late last night. I had to get up at 6 o'clock every morning, and I went to bed around 3:30 or whatever. And that's how I usually roll with it. And as soon as like it hit 3:40, something like that, people are already like saying like, "Oh my gosh, this episode!" I'm like, "Oh, it's that time." I locked my account. Yeah, I was like, "It's one of those episodes, isn't it?"
Didn't you lock your Twitter?
Yeah, I locked my Twitter. I usually don't do that, but this episode I felt like it was kind of important. I don't think I even got the title of the episode. I don't think I did. So yeah, I was kind of surprised by a lot of the things that I saw in this episode. And I was happy too. A lot of cool surprises.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So right off from the jump of the episode, and Bryce Dallas Howard tweeted about it like a couple of minutes ago. It's
Apollo
very
13, baby.
Apollo 13, like, and I'm surprised I didn't even catch that either. I'm like, God dang, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I love that movie, and that was a great callback, and just a tease of how great her directing was in this episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's so strange that, like, I guess it runs in the family, but all of a sudden Bryce Dallas Howard came out of nowhere last year. I think she's directed one short film, obviously she has a huge career acting wise now. But directing wise, she kind of came out of nowhere with, Mandalorian episode 4 last year, and she's just been killing it ever since. And I think people have been rightly saying, like, give her whatever she wants. I mean, I don't think it has to be Star Wars or Solo 2 or what people are saying, but give her a feature film. I would love to see just her making a movie, because awesome directing here, both last season and this season.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? People having the first time feature films, let's say like an Olivia Wilde for, I think Booksmart was her first one. I think I consider that kind of different for people having their directorial debut on TV. Because I think Bryce Dallas Howard, in comparison to somebody like Olivia Wilde, she wrote and directed Booksmart. Bryce Dallas Howard is going off of a Jon Favreau script, and Jon Favreau's what's it called when they do the previs, all that stuff. So
that's right,
the stuff's kind of already there. I'm not saying the director doesn't have to do a lot of work, because they obviously do, and they always get to have that input. But especially going off of what was it called? The Sanctuary in episode 4, and then seeing this one, I think now we're finally getting to see a lot of Bryce Dallas Howard's abilities as a director. In comparison to somebody like Deborah Chow, even. I think Deborah Chow in season 1, she was the main one people were saying, like, give her everything. And she kind of got everything by doing the Kenobi series now. And that was because people could see, like, okay, episode 3 was crazy good, and then episode 7 was also crazy good. So they can kind of see her style. I think now that we have 2 things to go off of, I think Bryce Dallas Howard might have a great future here for Star Wars. I don't know about feature films yet, but I am happy.
Give her an episode of Cassian.
Yeah, give her an episode of Cassian. Give her some more stuff. I'm very curious to see how.
I think,
yeah,
like, what most evident for me is how seamless the characters felt in this, and you can tell an actor is directing them. And I always enjoy that perspective, because if you look at, like, Filoni directing versus Bryce Dallas Howard directing, I feel like they get different performances out of their actors, and I think that's what, it's not even like the stylistic things necessarily, it's just her point of view, I guess, from being an actor and being in front of the camera all the time. And I think it's refreshing for her to be able to focus on that, because like Evan said, like, obviously it's a Filoni script, but she can really focus in on some of those emotional moments. Like, I think the Frog Lady stuff paid off really well, because
I love that so much.
And so, like, those little moments of, like, all those details about, like, oh, how is the child impacted from this? Like, how is Mando going to be challenged by these characters showing up, and what does that mean for him? What is the bigger implications with the Empire? I felt like this had the most, like, digestible and, like, complex kind of threads going through it, but it was it was only a 35-minute episode, and that's why I just really appreciated it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I really liked that. And again, comparing it to the Sanctuary, like Carson was saying, a lot of the acting in the Sanctuary was very chill, very calm, very like not overly emotional, but like very tenderly emotional, like between him and Omara. And you don't get a lot of those emotional beats in this episode, but you do get a lot of the cool stuff with the frog people, the frog lady, and the husband, stuff like that. And then you get a lot of great emotional acting from what's it called, Katie Sackhoff, and what she was doing. The way she was acting around Din Djarin was very seamless and fun, very full of life. I really loved it.
Well, let's talk about that, because
it's
Evan's favorite concept of jumping to live action. Interesting factor. Oh, but honestly, I was like really interested to see like how the look would transfer, like all the way like down to like the hair and everything. Because that's the thing I always noticed in like when I looked like at Clone Wars, is like her hair has like that jagged cut where like it would just fall off, but it's like animation style. And obviously they didn't do that, but it's still like everything like looked great. She looks great. just
Yeah.
it feels like she naturally fit so well.
Yeah, it looks closer to what she was looking like at the end of Rebels, which fits. Because Rebels, she had the darker hair and it was shorter, just like the one in this one. So it seems to like very just ripped off the page at the season 4 of Rebels, which makes a lot of sense.
I said this earlier, but to me, I'm so surprised how well it worked for me. Like, not only from the character perspective, but from the transfer of mediums. Like, that's Bo-Katan. Like, oh my god. Like, it literally is, of course, but like, she felt, honestly, I would say one of the most natural supporting characters that showed up. She felt part of that universe and part of the show immediately. Some of the other supporting characters, that I've had gripes about, some of the little characters like the mechanic or like just other little people that show up, like they feel very much like just kind of there for their purpose in the show. Yeah, this immediately I'm like, this, she's got she just the way she looks at Mando, like she's got backstory, she's got she's lived in this universe, and it was just instant for me, and I didn't even have to think about it because I'm like, I'm there.
This is back to back now, because I think the same thing happened with Cobb Vanth. Like Cobb Vanth, like boom, he fits right into the show. He fits right into the theme of the show, in the world that we're like living in on that Tatooine, Mon Kappa, whatever it was freaking called. And he was just so good. And then same thing goes for Katie Sackhoff as, of course, I'm blanking on Bo-Katan. But also, were you guys surprised that she was even in this episode? Like, we got them so soon. Were you guys expecting?
Yeah, because like there was a theory floating around, just for starts, that Sasha Banks' character was Mandalorian Night Owl, which I guess was legit. But
was it?
Yeah, she's at least like with.
She wasn't in the rest of the episode, right? Or was
Sasha
she?
Banks?
No, she is. She's fighting alongside.
She was the person fighting alongside them.
Yeah. That's what I was confused about too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was just kind of scouting out, and it was a really quick shot. Actually, it played it out a lot longer in the trailer. But yeah, I think someone in our group chat had speculated that too, that she was going to be part of that. And
yeah, but it was like also speculating that like she was the one captive on Navarro that we were going to like do a prison break for.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Which is why I was also stunned that like she showed up so fast.
I guess I wasn't surprised. I guess I kind of saw some stuff like people just tweeting out pictures of like animated Bo-Katan. I'm like, okay. And Katie Sackhoff tweeted like 2 things this week. Oh, it's my cheat day on Friday. I'm like, okay.
It's too late.
Wow.
Because before that, she tweeted out like, I can't wait for Friday. We're like, oh, okay. She's like, okay, guys, not that anything's happening on Friday. It's my cheat day on Friday. Like, yeah, it's too late.
The one thing. That was the one thing that tipped me off. But like, I wasn't really thinking about it, because like we're just kind of like on the boat and stuff. And I think because I was in like such intrigue, I was like, well, we're probably gonna get to Sasha Banks' character first. But then like it completely like blindsides you with shock, where they throw the child into the pit and it gets swallowed.
Oh my god,
that was crazy.
Because I'm like, the thing barely closes before it goes down to the mouth. I'm like,
yeah, what is shocking, and it just gets pulled down. And then they throw him down. Oh, it was like really
okay. We need to backtrack for a second though, because the Razor Crest is an absolute mess, and it's hilarious that it lands and you're like, all right, it's over, and it just falls in the water, and then we get the. I think I was watching Star Wars Explains thing. He's like, we saw a crane like this, I think, in Solo on
on the home road.
On the home world, really? God, what is it called? Starts with
what's it called? Freaking
Corellia.
Corellia.
I just said it 3 times. No one heard me.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
So yeah, I like that cool like tech that they had, and I like the I liked all the little side characters this episode in terms of the Corrin and
that mechanic.
And all the guys in the bar that were great. And then you killed my brother. that guy was great.
Yeah.
I love this little world.
Me too.
Oh, it's a great world. Fun moment of just like yet again Din seeing another Mandalorian take off their helmet, and he's just shocked once again. Like, what is going on?
That's perfect.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Whose armor did you steal that from?
He was like, I already had to take off somebody else's armor. I can do it again.
But that's a fascinating exploration that like we finally get like the explanation for that, the difference of like Mandalorians like not taking off, like more along the lines like Din was raised in more of a cultish Mandalorian group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fascinating, right? Because we already knew from season 1, at least the fans were like, okay, this is Death Watch. I don't think that was completely confirmed in season 1. I could be wrong. But like we all saw
it's implied. Yeah,
we all saw the blue armor, and fans of the Clone Wars like, okay, blue armor, boom. That's.
Well, I think
Death
they saw
Watch,
a logo
right?
on the
Okay,
armor.
in the logo, yeah. But again, nobody specifically said like, hey, this guy's from Death Watch. Like,
Right.
we just knew as fans, like, oh, okay, we can kind of put the pieces together that's Death Watch, and it kind of fits in terms of like the chronology of what's going on. But it was interesting when she said like, oh, you're from the Watch. That's why you're so like, what word did she use? Like a religious zealot or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that.
Something like that. So that had me thinking. I'm like, okay, was everybody in that covenant in Navarro from Death Watch? That doesn't make sense, right?
Maybe not.
Well,
I mean,
it could be like an accumulated thing. It could be like it started from a few of those people, and then as it kind of sounds like to me, I kind of equate it to like, I think this armor girl is not necessarily like upholding the values for like what she thinks she is. Like it's an instance of like, oh, the Empire. It's like kind of how Moff Gideon thinks he has power right now, and I'm just saying that I don't know how much power Moff Gideon really has or how much of the Empire, but the Empire's done at this point. But you know they're holding out this power, and if you keep it internal enough, it's like people believe it, and it's like especially for those that were raised within it, it's like that's all they know. And so I like that we're getting this fleshed out reality of like different divides of the Mandalorian creeds essentially, and how even the Empire kind of is enjoying that happening because they're all separated and this is happening between them. And I think it's kind of like the fish out of water thing. Like it keeps happening. It's like, you know, you see Timothy Olyphant with the Boba Fett armor, and of course we know the implications of Boba Fett as a different kind of person wearing the armor, and then with this episode you get Bo-Katan, and it's just cool that we get to see all these different things like play against each other. And I think eventually, I think it's gonna have to lead between Mando coming to a middle ground of like, okay, what does being a Mandalorian mean, and is it kind of a falsehood of the armor? Essentially, that's where I've kind of seeing how this show is like. You know, sometimes it's just armor, and what you do and the people behind it make more of a difference than this like legend of like, oh, don't take your helmet off, because it is absurd and it's been poked at for over a season now of like, oh, you're dumb.
We've been making fun of it since literally like episode 1 or 2. Whenever the first thing got mentioned, we're like, you don't take off your helmet. We've watched for 10 years now in the Clone Wars and Rebels how people have been taking off their helmets willy-nilly. So this guy is the weird one. You're the one who's like not like paying attention here to your history, which is very fascinating.
Do you guys think we'll see eventual like point in the plot that Din breaks the mold to be more comfortable removing his helmet around people? And if so, when do you think that will happen?
1,000%. That's a given. I think the end of season 2. End of season 2.
End of the season?
I thought it was going to be earlier. Because what Carson's saying is entirely true and entirely predictable at the same time. Because it's like, that's the theme of the show. I think Jon Favreau probably walked up into Kathleen Kennedy's office and said, the theme of this show is literally a Mandalorian figuring out what it means to be a Mandalorian. It's not all about the armor. That's like the exact theme of the show. We've been Alex Stars Explained has been talking about that since, again, the beginning of season 1. That's like the creed of the show in a way. So I expect it to happen sooner than later, hopefully. Even Giancarlo Esposito talked about how in future seasons we're going to dive deeper into Din Djarin's character. And I think that goes in tow with him trying to finally like relax, and we'll get into it with what I think happens with Baby Yoda in the future. But I think his real role as Mandalorian is to take care of this child and grow a family and grow his own thing going on, not really having to like stick to this creed, stick to the child, stick to giving it to the Jedi, because I think that's incorrect.
and we even get a really cool. We get parts of that extremism too on both sides in this episode. You know, we see how adamant Bo-Katan is to get the Darksaber back and to retake Mandalore and all that. It's like she has tunnel vision with that as well. So it's like there's all sorts of stuff with that, and as well as kind of just I saw someone speaking of moments where he could take the helmet off. I think more and more of these Mandalorians that we meet and different people this season, it's like I don't even know what a confrontation would look like between Din and the Armorer now. You know, I could see a powerful moment where eventually they're not at odds completely, but maybe he's questioning his entire past. Like, hey, like I've seen some stuff now, and then all of a sudden he gets down there, and you know it could be that stinger shot of season 2 could be Din taking off his helmet in front of the armor, or taking off in front of somebody, and just like the reaction of that, because we've seen it against Din so many times this season already, and it could be inadvertently in battle, but I think it'd be more powerful eventually. It could be in season 3 if he takes it off from his own intuition and everything.
Yeah.
You go, Nathan.
I could also see potentially, like, since his whole entire quest with delivering the child back to his own kind, it kind of did stem from the whole foundling philosophy and set on by the armor. I feel like maybe we could even get to a point where he may even break from that journey, from his interactions with maybe speaking with other Mandalorians or Ahsoka or somebody, and then just deciding, all right, you know what, never mind. I'm honestly content and happy. Child's gonna stay with me or something like that. And just like
again, that's what has to happen, right? I mean, going back though with the armor, are you saying you think the armor is gonna be upset if he removes his helmet? I think she'll be like, okay, cool. Like I don't think she's
the armor.
I mean, is she like such a religious zealot as well? Like, is she like from Death Watch? Like that's
I think at least she is. I don't know about everybody else.
She seemed like what her reaction to Baby Yoda and everything at the end of the season 8, like, or episode 8. I don't feel like she's the kind of person to get super confrontational with him just because she knows who Din is. She knows he's an honorable guy. She knows all this stuff about him. I don't think she's gonna be like, if you take your helmet off. You say that,
but also last season, like, there's literally that scene which is in the beginning preview of this episode. Like, have you ever removed your helmet? Blah 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 blah. Like, knife to Din's throat. Like, granted that I think that was early last season, but
yeah, she kind of like in episode 3 like kept the order amongst the other Mandalorians. It felt
so
like.
maybe this show is about like the keeping in the theme with like the falsehoods of the mask. It's like I think Moff Gideon is not as insidious as he leads on. I think the Darksaber is giving him a lot more power than he actually has, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And maybe this extreme creed is just a mask for somewhat of control within this group. I would love to see that kind of be just like a thing that exists over them, even though you don't really know anything else.
That's you guys are totally right there. You guys have a good point. I mean, for me, she just seems so knowledgeable. Like when she talks about the Jedi, she seems so knowledgeable about the past. I feel like she would know that there's 90% of other Mandalorians that take off their helmets.
But also you say that we get a little bit of more hints in this episode, like the existence of the Mandalorian armor was in defense of fighting off the Force and fighting Jedi and stuff. Like that was
Very
their
true,
armor was kind of like formed from that. So it's kind of narrow of that the armor to be like, oh, you need to go return it to the Jedi. Like the stories, like if she doesn't even realize it, that armor was a byproduct of fighting against these other people. So it's interesting.
That is interesting. That's true. But again, she might be knowledgeable enough to be like, the Jedi are good now. I mean, at least most of them are.
And that's something we really don't know in the minds of everybody, especially
true.
Din.
Yeah.
It's
what
like,
do you think of Jedi?
Because it's been a while since like Order, and so
yeah. Oh,
Not everyone's like, oh, Luke Skywalker marched onto the second Death Star and defeated Palps. Like it doesn't like exist like that.
totally. Also, I want to go back to what you said earlier, Carson, in terms of the whole like following these symbols, and you mentioned the darksaber. It's very interesting to me because I think that's something Bo-Katan might have to realize. I wasn't even thinking about this. Like, you don't need the darksaber to rule over Mandalore. Like,
Yep.
And this is kind of the thing my brother and I were talking about, even when we were watching season 4 of Rebels, where she had to give Bo-Katan. Sabine gave Bo-Katan the darksaber in order for her to rally the people against the Empire at the time. That wasn't really necessary. Like, all you need is to be together. It sounds corny, but all you need to be is like to group together, find all your Mandalorians, and fight the good fight. You don't really need a darksaber to unite everybody. It reminds me of Game of Thrones, where it's like everybody is so specific about, oh, you have we need this leader because she's part of this family or whatever, and they end up following like some child. Like, that's not really necessary.
And that's why this episode is so interesting to me, because we get not only a mission where they're going after a material good, they're going after weapons on an Empire ship, but they're also she preaches to Din of like, oh, we need your help. Like, are you going to stay? You're always welcome here. Yet her focus is so solely on this one item, at least from this episode, that it's like,
ooh,
imagine if she could, instead of being so narrow of like hunting down this one weapon of, what if she turned her focus elsewhere to kind of extend her willingness to find others? And it seems like she's more targeted at getting the darksaber than actually reuniting a sense of order and peace on Mandalore and between Mandalorians.
Great point. Great point. I didn't even think of that or connect about that. Because you're right. I think she mentions to Din saying, like, we're all spread out right now. The Empire is trying to divide us. And her solution to that is saying, hey, I need the darksaber in order to unite my people. Which I think she doesn't need that middle part. She doesn't need the darksaber to find her middle people. Could this be a revenge thing in Bo-Katan's mind, more so than uniting her people? Which I think she really does want to unite her people. She's very close to her people. She is the heiress of all. But I think she is partially could be narrow-minded in the sense that possibly she got beat by Moff Gideon, or something happened where Moff Gideon outnumbered her probably and managed to take out the darksaber from her hands. And maybe she wants revenge more so than uniting her people, which could be a very interesting through line.
And did you catch the line in after they're like getting drinks, where she's like, the Empire was frustrated they couldn't take Mandalore or something? I can't remember specifically the context that where Rebels leads us off, but obviously she says that everyone's spread out, and we kind of already have known that. But it's interesting that I think that revenge thing is very much going to come into play this season. And I think maybe Din might be the one to, oddly enough, point that out, that it's like, like, what are we doing? Like, this isn't helping us. Especially,
we'll get into it later when we talk about Ahsoka, but I think his mindset is really going to change after he talks to Ahsoka. This season.
Who I don't think is going to be in the next episode.
Me neither.
No.
Not because I think we all like agree that Filoni's episode's going to be the one.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm very interested to see Bo-Katan's future with Din here, because it's so funny. She was like, hey, Din, we need your help for this. You can be part of us. But also, I really want that darksaber. So
yeah, and she's got the Imperial officer like up to his neck. Like, does he have it? And he's like, you even had to ask that,
Exactly.
Space
right?
cyanide.
That was a great quote, because I'm like, Space cyanide is freaking amazing. But that's a great quote, because I'm like, you did all this. You massacred all these stormtroopers. Not saying like they didn't deserve it. Stormtroopers, whatever. But
yeah.
If she knew he had it, like, what did she hope to gain by this mission? She didn't really gain anything, right? Am I wrong? Like,
No.
What did she gain from this mission?
Did they
Confirmation?
Do they keep the ship? Yeah, do they?
I mean, yeah, they get weapons in the ship. Yeah, you're right.
But it's like they have a target on their back now. Like, I mean, you're flying an Empire
now
ship,
Moff Gideon's on top of it. Now he figured
This
they were
was never
pirates,
a
now he
condition of
knows.
our agreement.
Yeah.
that you bring up that's another point. She changes the terms of the agreement.
Yeah, Empire Strikes
midway
Back.
through the mission.
Pray I don't alter it any further. This is the way.
And
I thought
Din's
she was
like-
gonna say that too.
And Din's like,
Like I thought
Yo.
she would have just said like I'm altering the deal. That's it. This is the way.
That would be great.
and Din's like, no, we don't do
Mhm.
that. But he goes along with it because,
What
there
other
was not
choices?
really other choice
Yeah.
in the moment.
It's actually, dude, it's really great though, because like just like that moment is like it's a snarky. This is the way. But then like
Mhm.
as they like leave each other, it's like she says it again, but it's a lot more like heartfelt in that moment. But it's awesome.
It is great. It's awesome. And just jumping back to the very beginning, I just want to say, in terms of Bo-Katan entering this episode overall, I think even when we heard these rumors, the whole big rumor mill over the summer about Mando season 2, we got this person, we got this person. It was week after week after week. When it got to Bo-Katan, what did we all say? I think we all agreed that this was a great addition to the cast that actually
Mhm.
fit in against people like Sabine or Ahsoka or Rex or all this stuff. I'm like, Bo-Katan makes the absolute most sense out of any of these rumors that we've been hearing for season 2. And this episode really defined that. Like, she fit instantly into the tone of the show. It worked perfectly.
It's also been like really intriguing to see like how these characters have been fitting, because I feel like they've been doing it like way well and a lot more peace of mind than we would have thought. I mean, just like breaking it down, when you heard like the whole like Boba Fett Cobb Vanth stuff, I think we were thinking like, oh, okay, a little bit of Cobb Vanth, but I feel like we're afraid we're gonna get a heavy amount of Boba Fett when Cobb Vanth got the starring role and Boba got 10 seconds.
Yeah. And I hope it remains that way. People keep saying like, oh, he'll be back in episode 6 or 7. I'm like,
well, I would like him
Will
to be
he?
resolved. I would like him to be resolved now instead of like that potential
True.
spin-off show.
oh,
Yeah, you're right.
come on.
Remember?
Which is garbage. From one sentence, from one site, and that site is Deadline. So excuse me if I don't believe them.
Yeah, I totally agree with both of you because I was I'm still nervous about some of these characters showing up because we got a lot of episodes left and a lot of footage that we have not seen anything from, which is both exciting and terrifying.
Which I actually do want to like, let's definitely keep talking, but I definitely like I have once again
The trailer?
the trailer
Awesome.
that we can just see what's remaining truly.
All right, let me just shift to saying I because we're gonna get into the Ahsoka thing probably quickly here. I think next episode, maybe some TIE fighters find him in space, and then he's crashing on Navarro. He landed peacefully on Navarro, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe he escapes some TIE fighters and then like lands on Navarro and then has to go do something. Or maybe he gets the transmission. I still think something's pulling him away from going directly there.
I think it's as simple as what we saw in episode 7 of Mandalorian, where Grief Karga just emails him. Not email. He pops
emails him.
I think
you
what-
got mail. No, I think
yeah.
he just pops up saying, "Hey, Mando, we need your help on Navarro real quick. Want to help us out?" And he's like, "Okay, cool." And then that's it.
Which is the ongoing thing of the show at this point. If like
Right?
every episode,
Yeah.
like you gotta do this, and so you can
I
get
feel like
this,
there's-
and we're like,
I feel like there's gonna be a bit of a sidetrack thing by the end where he's going to have a run-in with Sabine at like the closing of the episode that will then lead us to Ahsoka for the
really?
next chapter.
You think
Wait,
we're getting?
Sabine? You still think we're getting Sabine?
Oh yeah, I mean we've gotten everybody else so far, haven't we?
Sabine was one of the iffy ones. Even the scoopers were like,
Yeah, that's true.
they were like, I don't know about Sabine. Like, I think there was more rumors on Ahsoka and Rex and both.
I don't know, man. I feel like if they got Bo-Katan and they name drop confirmation of Ahsoka, I feel like we'll get Sabine.
If they would have name dropped Sabine, maybe I would have been like, okay, but I just pray she's looking for Ezra. I don't know what's going on there. I'm still iffy on the timeline.
I guess we don't know timeline wise until we see Ahsoka where this is at. Really,
I agree. Yeah, she's in some forest. But yeah, we'll get into
forest,
after we watch
forest
this.
planet.
Yeah.
So this is
I
the
feel like
whole-
half of this. I feel like half the trailer is this chapter we just saw.
It literally
Which is funny. Yeah. That ship
So
is
crazy.
So do you guys still think we're getting a new Razor Crest after this episode?
I think we'll get a pass job by the end, maybe
Just a patch job now?
Yeah, I think
agree.
a patch job.
a better patch.
It was
job
looking
than
rough.
Because my brother even asked the same question. He was like, "Is Razor Crest done? Are we getting a new ship this season?" I'm like, I still think they're gonna stick with the Razor Crest at least for another season.
I could see Din like changing it, like to not being like.
We're a third of the way into this trailer, and we've already seen all this footage.
I know,
It's crazy, right?
crazy.
This is the episode.
Look, yeah, this is the chapter we just had.
Chapter 10.
The
chapter
lovely
we
couple
had.
right there. But
Yeah. I wanted
Yeah,
the father
and then we
like
get
to
Sasha
count the
Banks.
eggs when he met him. Like, how many eggs?
I,
Yeah,
I
I
did
thought they were
too.
gonna
I
say
kept looking. I'm like, hold on, 1, 2, 3.
yeah. No, yeah, literally the scene, he was just like, yeah, I know you're hungry.
James
He's like,
Franco.
oh my God. How far in are we? Oh my God. We've seen all this.
Yeah, it's
We've
almost
seen all
over.
this.
We've already seen everything.
That's
The fact that we really did think this was going to be so much later. Okay, so this is probably next episode for sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
100%. I'm going episode 4, especially because Carl Weathers is directing it.
I thought this
1000%.
was from the finale. This was in the chapter.
This shot was in the ship, which I was like, oh, I thought it was on the base.
Yeah, the only mysterious thing, like, what's his incentive to going back to Navarro? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
It's weird
Well,
because
I guess it's a breakout mission.
Yeah,
We've seen this. We haven't seen that. Seen this.
episode 1, episode 2.
Just all this.
Apollo
Ilum, right?
13. Yeah, Ilum, totally. He's looking for Jedi
We-
knowledge.
The Kyber,
We
the
have
Kyber
not
crystal.
seen. I'm gonna go with that. We have not seen anything from episodes 6, 7, and 8.
I agree. Dude,
100%.
I mean, maybe even episode 5.
Maybe even episode 5, which is crazy.
Oh, definitely episode 5, right? Because that's the Ahsoka one. So we haven't seen Jack.
Right? Yeah, and like they talked about a forest, which there's no forest here.
There's no forest. Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
Also,
Like, I think- I feel like the only shot is just like the reunion with Grief
Mhm.
Karga.
Not a
and
single
Mando,
shot of
and-
Moff Gideon in this trailer, which is crazy.
even when it came out, we were like, "Where's Moff Gideon? We need more Moff Gideon."
Yeah, I guarantee this is going to be. This might be the next episode, honestly, because like they're also these. We know in the special look, these speeder bikes are chasing the carrier that Grief
cargo
Karga and
carrier
everybody
thing.
stole. Yeah.
So, do we think it's a
Which-
breakout
yeah.
mission? Because they have.
Do you
the-
think they're
the-
like?
Do you think they're breaking out the blue guy from the first episode?
Yeah, that's what it seems like, right? Didn't we theorize that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I still am. I'm still not completely sure if, for some reason, because it's my theoretical brain trying to work, that if this takeoff is in with everything. Well, I guess it is because I see the lava, so it's probably still Navarro.
Ooh, I have a theory. So, what if, like, maybe Din doesn't know where that forest moon planet where Ahsoka is at? Grief knows. He's like, in exchange, how about you help me out, and I can give you direction or some money to get there? Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good
it's-
theory.
I wonder where this planet is, and I want to get into that. Of like, what is Ahsoka? Is Ahsoka just kind of chilling here? Like, is this like what
That's
is
what I'm
her
saying,
kind of,
yo.
What is her kind of like play with this? Like, I don't know what she's doing right now.
What
I
about
don't
Ezra?
What about freaking Ezra, the best character in Star Wars history? No, I'm kidding.
It could just be.
He is in my top 10.
It could just be like a little detour of like the journey because maybe it's a very long journey. So that way we don't. Yeah. Okay. Okay,
Ezra is
hey.
in the unknown regions with the mass murderer, and you're gonna take it.
All right.
Detour?
Okay. All right. Well, if they're gonna be in the show, do you want it to take from the Rebel sequel, or do you want it to
Not at
just
all.
be a detour? Okay. That's what I thought.
But yeah, I was legit. I had to pause it when I'm watching the episode because I'm like, as soon as he mentions Ahsoka, I was like, pause. I'm like, what's going on? I was talking to my brother. I'm like, what's going on? Like, is this after Rebels? Filoni, give me some answers. Is she gonna mention Ezra? Is somebody gonna mention Ezra? Is she gonna mention Sabine? What's going on?
And how
I
does
don't
she
know.
feel about Force things right now? I have no idea. Like,
Yeah, because Bo-Katan said, like, I have a Jedi friend. I bet Ahsoka's like, I'm not a Jedi. It's like,
Right.
I'm not.
and so
Come
it's
on.
like, especially with everything she's been through. It's like she sees this Force-sensitive child. She's like, I was this person, and I don't think maybe I should just groom him under my tutelage again, but also I've changed, but like also I don't know.
It's going to happen, right? That's like I don't want to say that's overly predictable, but she's not taking care of the child. We know that for a fact.
Now I feel like there's still like some hints of communication, especially since Bo-Katan knows where Ahsoka is, or at least maybe she knows where Sabine is and knows where Ahsoka is, because like has maybe Bo-Katan not seen Ahsoka since the Siege of Mandalore Clone Wars finale?
Possible, but although they must be in communication to at least some
extent.
Yeah,
well that's what I was saying. Maybe it's actually just to Sabine who's with Ahsoka.
Cool.
Yeah, I think last known, at least from visually, the last time they saw each other was Siege of Mandalore, because after that she went into hiding, became Fulcrum. I don't think she interacted with any Mandalorians as Fulcrum, because Mandalorians were dealing with the Empire at that time. And then she got quote unquote killed. She was in the Road Between Worlds for a while, and then Ezra got her out, and then she went into hiding. So I think and became Ahsoka the Grey. So yeah, I think last time she saw her must have been in Siege of Mandalore. But I guess they met in between Rebels ending and Mandalorian, if she knows her location.
Yeah. Maybe. Or I like Nathan's theory. But I want to go back to Baby Yoda real quick, because this episode is actually really smart about the payoff of the infamous discourse of eating eggs.
Which shouldn't be a discourse. It was weird. It was gross. It was stupid.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's kind of interesting how this show has, at least in season 2 especially, has shown how vulnerable and malleable a child is in these dangerous situations now. And I think it's so smart at the end of this episode having Baby Yoda just like innocently playing with another kid, like, and just having two parents supervising him over in that moment. Yeah. And it's like,
you threw me off because I thought you were talking about the squid that he ate at the very end.
No, the tadpole. The tadpole.
Yeah. Yes.
Real quick, didn't that seem kind of off-putting too, especially after last episode? Like, hey, I just ate 5 of your kind, but I'm just gonna play with
because the parents were right there, and I was like, oh.
I think he understood in that moment now, because even it looked like he got attached, like he had a little pet friend.
And these are the lessons he needs to be taught, like
True.
He does. And so,
where's your innocence, Evan?
The fact that it changed, and he wasn't like eating it. That it's like
a monster.
He needs those like changes of like whatever, and then right away you see that rejected because they go back in the ship and he eats a damn creature. 2 seconds later, you see how quick things can just change, and it's like he needs like a solid base. It doesn't have to be the Jedi. It doesn't have to be Mando carrying around to every planet in the galaxy. He just needs stability. And so it's just going to be interesting to see where this child ends up, because the 3 places now, and he's probably going to get taken, like Evan is, multiple times by the end of the season. And that's probably going to be even worse because it's an actual regime of evil. And so it's like, where does this end up? And I'm just so perplexed now because you guys are right. Ahsoka is not going to take the child.
Not at all. This is what I want from Ahsoka. This is what I theorized when Ahsoka first got mentioned. I was like, I don't want any action scenes. Best episode of both seasons. Wow, high praise.
It's up there for me, honestly.
I might agree.
Episode 3 is just I love episode 3. 3 and 7. No, 3 and 8.
3 and 8. Yeah.
But also, what was I going to say? I forget what I was going to say. But yeah, I think Baby Yoda. I don't think Ahsoka really wants it, because I've been saying like from the beginning, I don't want Ahsoka to have any battles or any fights. I just want her to have a lot of good dialogue with Din, just telling him like, I'm not going to raise your child. Like, I think she can read Din like an open book, like a lot of people have been this entire series, reading Din like an open book, because he kind of is. It's like, your job, keep saying like, my job is to deliver him to the Jedi. No, Din, your job is to take care of the child.
And we get this wonderful thing that Mando was essentially delivered to this group, this cult. I mean, he was rescued, but it's kind of history playing itself. And Ahsoka could just be like, look, the entirety of you standing here is from the fractured nature of how the Jedi failed this galaxy. And you're sitting here telling me that I'm supposed to know everything and make sure that this child is raised in the right conditions.
Yeah, just because I'm force sensitive too, it's like that's not how it works.
There's a lot of good stuff, and I don't want her, I guess, engaging in the main conflict and being like, all right, we're going off on the ship, buckle my seatbelt, we're going off to Moff Gideon. I want her to have that outside perspective of just like, I can offer you insight, but I'm not going to go guns blazing into this place unless there's a threat that, crashes down on this planet or something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna John McClane Die Hard up in here like let's go.
Right, like,
Russians. Like no, it's not gonna happen.
Especially because it's older Ahsoka. Like, it's not
I
Snips
fear
anymore.
that's what's going to happen, and that's what I fear.
Yeah,
because I think like from a fan, I hate saying this, but like from a quote unquote fan perspective, I think they want Ahsoka to get in on the action. Which I kind of see teased here a little bit. If Bo-Katan is so closely related to Ahsoka in the sense that she knows where she is, I think Ahsoka has knowledge of what the Mandalorian, at least what Bo-Katan's group is up to. And I can see Din saying like, hey, they're doing this. They're looking for the Darksaber. I can see Ahsoka being like, you know what? I can help my friend out one more time. And fans are going to go crazy saying, oh, she's going to go help out Bo-Katan. Oh, yay.
I also can see it being from the perspective of, okay, they get off Navarro. Oh, boom. Tracking beacon on the Razor Crest because they narrowly made it out of there and didn't realize it. And so maybe the Star Destroyer shows up. The single Star Destroyer shows up on this forest planet. And Ahsoka has no choice but to accompany them and help them out. And I could see that pulling her off planet could be an instance of her getting into the action. But it had to be executed good.
It has to be executed good. And it seems on paper, at least in our theories, it seems exciting for her to get into the action. I bet people are going to go crazy just because they like seeing lightsabers and they like seeing action scenes.
White lightsaber. Like, I'm sure we'll get
exactly
from general audience.
People are going to freak out. It's going to be cool looking. But I think thematically, for me at least, it would just work better if we get an episode of her just dishing out some good knowledge. Like, that's what I like about Ahsoka in Rebels. A lot of the conversation that she had with Ezra and Kanan in the Twilight of the Apprentice was fantastic. Like, granted, there's a lot
what's
of
her end game at this point?
But
What's her end part of the journey, which obviously will be explored in the Rebels sequel, hopefully. But it's like, how does she feel about the state of everything right now? Like, in Rebels, things kind of move very quickly, and obviously it's not focused on Ahsoka, but there's a lot to play off of, and I don't want that all to be answered in these episodes because I think the Rebels sequel is that natural ending point. But again, I think
or the bad
again, I think there's a potential to be like, hey, here's where this character is heading in the end, because like or not, we're ending. At least the shows that we're getting are going towards the end of Ahsoka's arc, at least in my eyes.
It's very Luke Skywalker Last Jedi-ish, where people are asking like, this whole battle's going on, Luke. What is Luke doing? Now we have this whole battle between the Empire and Mandalorian that's getting set up for this, probably most likely the finale, maybe even larger than that. So I'm like, are they going to have Ahsoka dish in on that? Are they going to have her get involved in this Mandalorian versus Moff Gideon conflict? I don't need it to happen. Like, I'd rather just have a fight between Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon. That would be awesome. Don't you dare. No. Get out. Get out.
The other thing I wanted to ask you quick is the presence of Mandalore in this. Could you see an instance of, the combination of all these characters like compromising with each other and putting aside their differences and forming some sort of unity? I don't know what the state of Mandalore is. I don't know who's on it right now. I guess I don't know what the power vacuum of that looks like after everything. But could you see that ending up would it be powerful to have Ahsoka be on Mandalore one last time and kind of go full circle from the Siege of Mandalore? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I wouldn't care.
Nathan,
There's a lot you don't
see where
care
I'm coming
about.
from.
Yeah, I feel it.
Connections.
Once again, me and Carson are against Evan, and
I don't need these freaking
battle of the
connections.
wills.
I like that she's
Battle
on
of
this.
the wills.
I like that she's on this forest planet that I have no idea how to pronounce because it seems like a new planet. It's not like, oh, she's on Coruscant. I like that she's on a brand new planet, secluded from everybody. I'm very curious about that. I don't really. I'm still iffy on Ahsoka. I'm very curious to see what kind of knowledge he imparts on Din. I think Din, again, is going to have his whole mindset changed after this confrontation, at least hopefully, because he's very, again, set on the creed. Like, I got to deliver it to the Jedi. It's like, no, you have your own, what's it called? Was it Guild of Two or Tribe of Two?
He's his own person, too. I feel like so much of the show about is how, at least now, he's so task-based. He's like, all right, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? He's always chasing the next job, always chasing
What are your
the
hobbies?
next purpose. Right. It's like he doesn't – I don't think he really knows himself. I mean, he's been learning about himself, and he's been learning about how his, acts of kindness can unite people. And, we see it exactly with the Frog Lady plot and how maybe it's not all about the job and all about this ancient words that say you have to be a certain way. It's like you got to live your life, man.
That reminded me of a question I have in my notes here. On one hand, we're saying like Din has to be more of himself against the creed, against his creed. But a lot of this episode was about Bo-Katan talking about the restoration of Mandalore, which I think means a lot to Din. And it is honestly a very good deed. Mandalore apparently right now is a wasteland. It's a trap waiting to happen. It reminded me like that quote he says of like, nobody goes to Mandalore. Like it reminds me when Kanan was like, nobody goes to Mustafar. That's where Jedi go to die. So it seems like Mandalore could be at the Mustafar for Mandalorians, right? Which is kind of ironic because that's where Mandalorians are from.
And that's a good point because
it
could be an instance where the dark saber, like how you talked about the dark saber being like, oh, it's like the middle thing that you don't need. It's like Mandalore is very important to the ideology, but again, it's just a planet. Like, I'm sorry, like it's just a they could,
true.
You know what I mean? Like it could be bigger than that, and they could realize that, like, hey, get the correct dragons in it. That'd be cool. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's at what point do they realize that these revenge-ridden ideologies are just going to keep eating at them for years? Because if they keep targeting, they're like, if we just get Mandalore, all will be okay. Okay, you said that last time, and you had a pacifist and a Death Watch going against each other for years, or during the Clone Wars,
man.
Yeah, I love Bo-Katan, but it was very funny for her to be like, "Yeah, we have to go restore Mandalore." I'm like, "This is round 3."
Where do you think Mandalore? Where do you think Mandalore? Where do you think Mandalore ends up by the First Order as well? You think we're gonna do this again?
Exactly,
right? Which is like, I always forget that because of how narrow this show is. It's like we have a whole other
30 years ahead. The next generation of Mandalore is just gonna.
Death Watch 2.0.
It's very funny because Bo-Katan had to rescue Mandalore from the Death Watch. Then she had to rescue Mandalore from Maul's group. And then again with the Empire. And then again with the Empire round 2 after Return of the Jedi. So it's like, this is crazy. She keeps trying to restore Mandalore. But you make a good point, Carson, saying it is just a planet. But I do think at some point, I think Din's ideology is going to change to, I'm in charge of the baby now, in charge of the child now. Also, I might have an obligation to help out Mandalore. Like, I am from these people. I think I do have an obligation to help restore my planet, which I think would be a good full circle for his people, or for Din Djarin as a person. Do you guys think, final question, at least for me, do you think he's eventually going to hold the Darksaber? Is that in the cards?
I think.
Or is that not necessary?
I think you may get a combat scene, but it won't stay with him.
Okay.
I agree.
That's a good theory. I like that.
I think, again, just everything I heard in this episode, and everything that at least has been hinted at thematically so far has been you're more than the weapon and the beskar that rids your body and gives you a certain association. And we see that especially Din's a walking paycheck to everybody in this episode. Like, hey, give me the beskar, like, you know? And so it's like how much of that are they going to take and take and take? I think eventually they're going to, reinvent themselves to the point of, oddly, I'll be so curious if overall this pays out way better. I mean, it probably already has, but like, kind of what the sequel trilogy tried to reinvent with the Jedi and everything, especially The Last Jedi. I think it did really well, but I think coming to a compromise between all these different groups and all these different past things that they believe in, it's like I think there's a chance to kind of settle it all out. Hopefully, I don't know if it's going to be retaking Mandalore. I don't know if it's going to be someone ending up with a Darksaber to end it all. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think there's a chance here that it all can kind of fizzle out for good and hopefully just resolve.
That's a good point. Yeah, because we're all talking about end games right now. Do we think the Darksaber is going to be destroyed in this season, or are we going to see the Darksaber continue into next season? Because I think me and you, Carson, and Nathan, we're all theorizing that like the Darksaber is not important. It's all about like uniting Mandalore as a whole. So, and we got the Darksaber big tease at the end of season 1. I think it's possible that Darksaber gets destroyed in season 2 finale. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh,
that would be a
was this the Elder Wand?
Exactly. I think that's what.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. I mean,
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I love a good Harry Potter parallel. That works for me. I think that could happen. As long as Bo-Katan doesn't get hurt, I don't want this to happen because I feel like she's going down.
I'm open. I'm open to it. I don't think I have any like set determination for plot necessarily because I feel like I just like whatever they give me, I'm just like yes. But yeah, I just I'm down to see how everything's go. I put complete trust into the story group working on Mando and Favreau and Filoni. I think they're doing a killer bang up job so far. I do think this has been my favorite chapter of the series thus far, especially visually. It's gorgeous. I think it was said really cool. It was shot from the same people that did Wonder Woman and Chronicle.
Oh wow! This episode.
Yeah, I didn't know that until someone mentioned it after.
Holy crap! I do like some really cool shots. Josh Trank, where you been?
Josh Trank to direct season 3 premiere.
I forgot freaking Capone came out this year. I didn't even see it.
Bro, what episode is Robert Rodriguez going to do? I'm so curious right now.
Oh yeah, let's knock this out here.
So let's say Rodriguez does 6, and then what's it called? Famuyiwa, Rick Famuyiwa does 7, and then Favreau does 8. Does that work?
That would be pretty solid.
Yeah.
Because 4 is Carl, 5 is Filoni, 6 is Rodriguez, 7 Rick Famuyiwa, and then 8 is Jon Favreau closing it out.
I could see it. Unless Filoni doubles up again. You never know.
Ooh.
I could see a Filoni finale just because.
Can you?
If it's Mandalore, I don't know.
If it's Ahsoka versus Moff Gideon, ugh. But
the exclusive marketing only set piece filmed in a bar of Ahsoka.
No, where did that happen?
I'm sure it was around, but the ever changing studio that is Lucasfilm. But yeah,
it's in the
vault.
That's
good. It's in the vault, the Disney vault, the Diamond Edition of the Mandalorian. Get it while you can. But yeah, super excited to see where things are going to go. We'll be catching it in a week's time. Very exciting. Now we're going to dive into a couple more rather small topics before we get into our game, which I do want to try to wrap this up by 10 because I once again meeting up with a friend to watch this episode.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Always fun. But yeah, okay. So I feel like it's an easy topic to go through. It's fascinating though, the fact that George Lucas once had in the cards Darth Maul set for the sequel trilogy antagonist.
Yeah. Let me pull it up on my phone real quick.
Was this was this pre Clone Wars Resurrection?
This was pre Clone Resurrection, which confused me when the interview when the news came out. I'm like, this can't be recent because he had the whole conversation with James. I bit my tongue. Uh, he had this whole conversation with James
Kenobi.
Cameron. I know, right? He had this whole conversation with James Cameron just like 5 or 4 years ago when they were having the whole sci-fi discussion, and that's when he talked about the whole microbiotic sequel trilogy idea with the wills and getting into the whole Mandalorian stuff in the sequel trilogy. That was like in the 2015-ish timeline. This whole discussion was when like I guess a little bit after Return of the Jedi, I think in the 1990s, he was discussing the or maybe early 2000s, he was discussing what the sequel trilogy could have been, and that's where he discusses Darth Maul being the main villain. It says here Darth Maul would appear with mechanical legs and become the godfather of crime in the universe because as the Empire falls, he takes over.
Which makes sense to a bigger scale of like before, any of the Clone Wars stuff happened. It's like just like thinking ahead of like, oh, let's accelerate this Maul idea and like, okay, now he's gonna seize all that power versus having him in the syndicates or whatever. Would have been interesting. Yeah, I don't know. What more intrigued me about it than the Maul stuff was his take on Leia, which I really think was interesting.
Yeah, let me
Chancellor
go to it.
Leia it was.
Yeah, it says here like over the course of the installments, Carrie Fisher's Leia would be turned into the chosen one. Just as the original Star Wars trilogy focused on Luke, the sequel trilogy would focus on Leia. And he says, a quote, "The movies are about how Leia, I mean, who else is going to be the leader, is trying to rebuild the Republic while Luke is trying to restart the Jedi." Yeah. And then he goes into saying, like, why did Lucas abandon this sequel trilogy plan? Because he said, like, I was about to have a daughter. It takes 10 years to make a trilogy, and then working on episode 9 would just take a lot, and he wanted to raise a family.
That's fair.
So, yeah. And this was 1999 to 2005. So, yeah, the whole Leia stuff is fascinating. I mean, it makes sense.
It's the most fascinating for me of all these.
Yeah.
And which I think
feel
it's interesting. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I feel like I know probably also is like not the character of Rey as originally it was Kira, right? That would even more likely maybe get you the placement of her being a Kenobi just because of the Darth Maul villainous. But
oh, good point.
But yeah, it's all pretty. It's always fascinating to hear original visions, especially from George himself, because since he was the core on the OG6, and we're in such a new era of Disney Star Wars now that we have like equal, if not more so, hours of Star Wars content in contrast with his original works.
Right. Agreed. What were you gonna say earlier?
Half the time, like in less than half the time. I was gonna say, I thought the Leia stuff was interesting, both in concept and both what actually happened in terms of what we got with the sequel trilogy, because before Carrie's passing and even in her impact in the Rise of Skywalker, like episode 9 in concept from Disney was always going to be Carrie's movie, and so whether that was the chosen one angle or her impact on her son, which I think was the more likely of the two. Of course, she impacted him in Rise of Skywalker, but I think that was going to be much more fleshed out and effective in a scenario in which Carrie Fisher was still with us. But I like that Leia, and I think all the stories we've gotten, whether it's the books or comics or anything, it's like that sense of rebuilding and that sense of the war isn't over and trying to find the purpose never left the story. And so I think it makes sense that George kind of would want to see that through, and I think in many ways it was seen through.
I agree. Yeah. Again, when it comes to Rise of Skywalker, I don't think the execution was good, but I think the idea of having Leia have a big impact and be in the center of Rise of Skywalker would have been great before her untimely death, of course. So yeah, I think, and we see a lot of ideas here with the Darth Maul rebuilding his criminal empire. A lot of people are saying like, "Oh, this would have been fantastic in the sequel trilogy," but I disagree. I think what we got with Darth Maul, what he did in the Clone Wars, and how that influenced the Rebels, I think that's far more better than what we could have gotten in, for example, the sequel trilogy, which lasts like 6 hours, 2-hour movies. I think what we get with Darth Maul over the span of numerous hours throughout the Clone Wars and throughout Rebels is much more substantial, much more important and cool than just seeing him in the sequel trilogy.
The Ezra stuff, particularly too.
Yes.
Oh exactly. Yeah, all the breakdown of just like the overtaking of Mandalore, of revenge against Obi-Wan, while still losing the power again against Palpatine, and the whole like fear angle that he had during the Order 66 and Siege of Mandalore.
Yeah, exactly. People are clamoring for like for Maul in the sequel trilogy. I'm like, did you guys forget how awesome Maul was in the Siege of Mandalore? Like, come on! Like we wouldn't have gotten that. I think
it was probably Sam's best work as Maul as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Maul was such a fantastic character in the Clone Wars. Everything he did with getting all the syndicates together, fighting Obi-Wan, and then his whole plan in Siege of Mandalore, perfection.
Yeah, and it's great that like the way he has effects on like characters, like whether it is like how he affected Obi-Wan in multiple points in his life, or Kanan and his sight and how that journey unfolded.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we wouldn't get the iconic episode Twin Sons if he was going to be just used in the sequel trilogy. Like, Twin Sons, one of my favorite episodes,
the best
ever
animated battle.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. It's so important. And I think it's so good.
I think the Luke area of like, oh, Luke was going to try to, retrain the Jedi. Of course, that's canonically what happened. But I think what Ryan did built upon that in ways that I think George, maybe from his perspective of being the creator, maybe might have not seen overall. I think he was going to a more estranged Luke Skywalker as well. But I think what we got elevated Luke as a character and a human being so well that I'm not like sitting here like, oh, I wish the Jedi would have continued, through The Last Jedi or whatever. Because I think the story that we got, right, like, which seems kind of just so forced to me.
Yeah, it seems so fan servicey. Yeah,
I think those stories fit a lot better in both existing comic stories we've had, or like the Jedi Fallen Order stuff.
Right, like the Rise of Kylo Ren too. We get an insight into the Luke Temple stuff, which I think was really cool. But I think what it evolves beyond is what made impact on the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan took what Lucas was already planning on doing with an estranged Luke and just, like Carson said, made it more human, made it more relatable, made it more like this is what actually could have happened when somebody thinks of themselves as a myth. In other words, we love The Last Jedi. It's fantastic.
Commentaries in the future, hopefully. But
I would love to do that.
Heck yeah. I think it'd be fun to do a whole sequel trilogy watch fest, just the rise and rising and no, it's fun. But it's all interesting. I don't think I have much more to add
me neither.
to this topic. Okay, so I think like the only other thing we were really like cover was there was another bit of Leslie Headland series stuff.
Yeah, just short stuff. I just love talking about Leslie Headland because I think every week we're always talking about these Disney Plus TV shows. I'm just like
The Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch. There's a Boba Fett thing going on, Cassian Andor, Kenobi. But I'm like, what about the official news about Leslie Headland? All we had was that official news from Lucasfilm a couple. Was it this year? Or maybe last year? I forget when it got.
Yeah, it was this year.
It was this year, which
that's crazy. It's been a long year.
I think it was around the same time that they were confirming the Taika directed film coming.
Yes, it was in the same press release as that.
And that was this year too, right? Oh my god!
Yeah. That was like May. Was it around May? It might have been May or
holy crap.
July.
This year is ridiculous.
I don't know.
But yeah, she says like one of the main things that she had in her head was she then hinted at a story that would take us planet hopping She said for her, it's less about going through the Star Wars universe cinematically or artistically, and more about going it through a literal journey, and then geographically how this journey would take place in her head. And she said when she was pitching to Lucasfilm, she like had this idea of like an Indiana Jones, like they would go here and they would go there with her. Yeah, right. Like, doesn't that sound like Afra? That would be freaking awesome.
I still think it's original, but I love this. It feels like less. It feels less bound to structure than Mandalorian with like planet hopping wise. It feels more like a natural exploration of like, oh, how do these certain planets like come into play? Of course, we see that in Mandalorian, but it feels more like mythical and I don't know what the word is. I'm thinking about honestly like how the Ghibli films use nature and like how it's like its own character. I can see like her planets, having a huge part in the story, which I think would be really cool. Amongst like, especially if those other rumors of it being a martial arts kind of show, I can see it being very centered about like the surrounding things in your universe, like whatever someone's training. I can see like a training montage and just stuff like that. I'm so curious to see what her perspective ends up being, because it just seems so fresh, and we've heard like 2 quotes from her, but I think the mystery of it all makes it that much more exciting. Yeah,
it seems very like, Karate Kid-ish. I see where you're going.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm thinking too. And I've been playing. I was playing the Samurai PlayStation 4 game earlier today, the Ghost of Tsushima game, and I can see like totally just like influences of, because I mean that's what inspired like the samurai stuff. It's like that kind of stuff is what inspired George, and it's like of course we hear Favreau and Filoni talk about that. It's like, okay, what if we made it in the aesthetic of what inspired Star Wars? This kind of, it seems like it'd be taking it one step further and being like, all right, what if we told it in the vein of those original story, those stories that inspired the structure of Star Wars, and not just the visual style, which would be really cool.
Full circle.
Yep, completely. And I just really like some of her quotes where she was saying, one of the most interesting quotes was she didn't really pitch it as a TV show. She just said like, I pitched it as something that was dear to my heart and what I think would like mesh well with the Star Wars universe. She didn't really pitch it as like, oh, I want this to be a TV show, but she eventually did land on a TV show. She said there's a lot of creative things that she can do specifically for episodic television, not bingeable television, because she knows with Disney Plus, you're going to get it from week to week. So I think she's really thinking about that. Not in terms of like, oh, just a whole big binge like what you get with the Queen's Gambit or something. So I think it's really cool. I love it. I can't wait to see more news about it. Hopefully we can meet her at a Star Wars Celebration 2022. That'd be fun.
And one last thing I want to say about it is it's cool because, watching Disney Gallery, it's like very much the Favreau's approach is like, oh, I've had this idea for ages. This is the fan in me playing with my ATST in my room. Like I have all the chess pieces, and now I can bring it to life because we have the technology, back on
everything
Iron Man,
I did in my trailer working on Iron Man.
Right. Like it's like all the pieces of a fan becoming a creator are connected. This feels like a different pitch of like more something natural and sincere than came up in her life versus like something that I've always envisioned as a fan. It feels very much like an evolving thing. I think it's cool.
Yeah, which is the kind of people I hope they continue to get in these pitches in these like rooms. Like, I hope to get people like Leslie Headland coming in to give creative thought into Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Yep. Is it
game time?
Is it time for Family Feud? Are we doing that? Family Feud?
The scavenger bested you.
All right, so just to break down, what we're gonna be doing is a fun little scavenger hunt. Boys, I recommend opening the private chat for this. So we're gonna give I'm gonna give everybody 10 different categories to find a Star Wars related image for said topic, and whoever finds the best image in regards to that topic wins that round, and I guess we could just tally points if we're doing that. And winner's the winner. So how we're going to do that is we're going to open up basically 10 different images into a tab. We'll share screen our results, and even if somebody has like a similar result, like if somebody both chooses like something like for like Anakin Revenge of the Sith or something, like whoever has the best regarded image wins that round. And so what we're going to do for right now, we're going to keep a pace of talking while we search, but I'm going to give all of us equally 15 minutes to find said related. Well, I mean, it's 10 different categories. So actually, let me go ahead and put them into the chat.
Yeah, I'm
right
like,
now.
this is going to be fun. I was talking about winning earlier, guys. I'm probably not going to win. This is going to be kind of difficult, but fun. I'm very excited. Ooh, okay. I think I have a good one for the first one. I don't know about everything else. I know I
got a funny one.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Hard.
Let me
This is gonna
think.
be
Like,
good.
what's
Yeah. Let me start opening up some tabs. What do we got?
Your 10 topics.
Okay.
And the timer begins. Sorry.
It's like push the clock in Queen's Gambit.
yeah, literally, it's like
Everybody go watch Queen's Gambit on Netflix. It's a fantastic show. Great show. Anya Taylor-Joy.
Fine, I'll do it. God.
Amazing.
yeah, please do.
Okay. So let me find this first one. We're not going to tell them what the topics are yet, right?
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no. We'll break it down when we have the time up.
Okie dokie.
It's nerve-wracking now because I'm like, I didn't like pre-do anything, even though I like conglomerated this. Like I'm doing it from scratch as well.
Which one's the more freakier image?
Yeah, I'm trying to think
Okay.
like what fits
Screen-
where.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that works for me. Okay, let's move on to the next tab here.
Totally on capthat.com.
What.com?
Cap-that.com.
Oh, yeah.
It's good for like all the screen caps, HD for movies.
Okay.
Even though it takes me way longer.
This is so hard because
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? I'm like,
We're all live.
trying to think here.
13 and a half minutes.
you know,
I'll go
it's
back
so
to
tough.
that one. Okay, that's easy right there. So I got 2 down. Where are you at? There we go. I like that one.
All
That one
right,
works.
third one. Here we go.
Ooh, this is easy. How you guys' week been? You guys had a good week?
Well, you know,
It's been all right.
not too shabby.
Oh yes, I found it.
Ooh, that's which one should I use for this one? This is hard. Okay, I'll
It's
use
so
this one.
tough, and it's like I don't know. It's like I'm realizing how hard the search terms are. Like I'm trying to search like specific stuff. Okay, wait. Oh, I can do that easily.
I can't think of the second one for me. I mean, that should be easy.
Actually, no. Actually, I got it.
It seems really basic, but whatever. I might lose this one.
Basic is an answer though.
Truly.
Okay, I got 1, 2, 3. I got 4 down.
Oh, nice.
6
I
to
think I
go.
just got 4 down as well.
What do you guys got so far?
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 down. I'm on.
I got
to
Yeah, I got 4. Hurry up, Nathan.
I know.
Against the clock.
I have 11 minutes.
Speaking of,
Okay.
I'm not going to use this, so I'll just say, speaking of funny, the Mandalorian joke last episode, close witch doors. All of them?
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. Oh yeah, we didn't really talk about it in the Mandalorian episode. I forgot to give my. I'll give it now. My love of the captain, played by
Yeah, what's that guy's name?
Titus Wellifer. I looked it up.
Okay.
I keep forgetting his name, but he is a great TV actor. Great
I
character
thought I
TV
recognized
actor.
him.
He's from the
I've
Bosch
seen him in a bunch of
show
stuff.
on Amazon Prime. You guys should watch Bosch. It's a crime drama, very good on Amazon Prime.
Oh, that's what it's called, Bosch. Yeah.
Also, he plays the main antagonist in Lost, which is one of my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. He's not in the first couple of seasons, but he's towards the end when you start discovering the meaning of the island.
Okay.
Lost is freaking incredible. I lost track. What's the 5th one here? Okay, got it.
This sucks. My computer's also trying to load.
Let's see here. Oh, that's
Open
weird.
image.
Let's see.
Yeah, I got that one.
You got that one?
Oh, I have such a good one for this.
Oh, that is disgusting. I don't know where that came from. Think. What could be? Do. Oh, that works. I don't know if this is actually funny, but it's funny for me.
I'm using way too many ones from one movie, but I don't even care.
I'm all
Red
over the
Skywalker,
place.
isn't it?
Oh, I know this 6th one easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the 6th one is going to come from Tross.
Yeah.
We might all have the same one.
Swear to God.
Go back. How do I do this? There we go. I'll just keep it right there. That's an okay image.
8 minutes.
8 minutes?
Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm on to 7th one. That's so hard. Okay, I'll do that one.
I'm trying to think on this one. Which movie do I want to pick?
I know. It's so tough because
It's all
you want
Anakin. Like this specific topic, I'm like, which Anakin moment?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got my 8th one here. Yeah, that's pretty foul. Ooh, this is hard. Trying to think for number 9.
I know. I'm on too.
There's so many good ones to pick from. Do. This is great airtime.
I know.
Great.
6.5 minutes to go.
You forget how hard it is to talk while you're doing something, not dedicating
exactly.
yourself.
I
Talking.
don't envy the
check.
Twitch streamers.
Yeah, all right, so check.
Couldn't be me.
Sure.
That's a great one.
When's the last time I laughed?
Yeah, I have a good. I don't remember.
In a good way. Come on. All right, I'm trying to think. Oh god damn it!
This is much harder than I expected, Nathan.
I know.
I can't find the image I'm looking for. I'm searching all throughout Google Images. It's not popping up. Crap. What can I say here?
Most badass image. Put up Ryan Johnson.
That would be funny.
That'd be great.
I'm also trying to organize my tabs, like to keep them consistent.
Yeah, Sam.
All right, I got them all.
Nice. I can't think of one for 9. That should be easy.
Went with the basic answer. It's hard though.
It is hard. I want to
Because you're like, wait, it's gonna be interpreted as some things.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Let me see here.
Hope I can find the shot. Yes, there it is. Okay.
Now I forgot the beginning category. Oh yeah.
That works, I guess. Gosh. I'm losing it. Number 10. What should I have here?
4.5 minutes.
I refuse to use the one from Rogue One. I refuse.
My images might be lower quality, but
Same.
Yeah, some of mine are, but it gets the job done.
It gets the job done.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look, how much time do I have left?
I have three more okay, there's 4 minutes. I have 3 more categories. Jesus.
Ooh, 100. Okay. What should I do for this last one? What is so? Episode 1, episode 2, 3, 4, Oh, duh. Okay, I could do that. Like, I was just going straight through the movies.
Wait, this image is posted on. This image is posted on Men's Health. Okay.
Really good image to use though for that.
I forgot to use stuff from Rebels. I'm kind of mad at myself.
I have
I'm like,
1, 2 from Rebels, and they're same
Nice.
character. Oddly enough.
Okay. Got 2 more, and there is a little over 3 minutes left.
Can do it.
Oh, I'm trying.
The pressure of your own creation getting to you.
I wanted
You're
to play
George
fair, man. I could have done this way beforehand.
That's true.
Yeah, we could have all done it before.
Nah, it's a race
But
against the
we
clock.
are an authentic Star Wars podcast. We bring you
Exactly.
freshest content on the market.
Literally.
Content so fresh that we don't even know what it is yet. And that's why we're not
Literally.
hardly talking at the moment.
I'm probably gonna lose this last one.
Spotify
episode
listeners are
2,
now
what am I
just
doing?
like-
I could do that one. Let me see here. Yeah, it's not the best image to use for that word, but I'll go with it. Okay, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
2 minutes to
We'll see how it
go.
goes. We'll see how it goes. Oh man.
I don't think I'm gonna win, honestly. I think
Me
like mine
neither.
are-
Not at all.
I have like one like good one that I think I can win the category, but the other ones,
Tab open. Okay. There's not much time.
oh, the best Harry Potter fan just said hi to us.
Oh,
Ooh, I'm all
Hello.
over the chat.
I gotta move back to comments.
It's all over the
Emma,
chat.
hi.
Hiya.
Sorry, we're doing
doing
a game.
Yeah, it's a scavenger hunt, and I'm on the brink of losing. There's a minute 17 to go. I think I have one more category.
Wow.
God,
Yeah.
I'm really like down to the line.
I feel pretty confident with the first one. After that, everything goes pretty.
Everything goes downhill.
It reminds me of the filmography of the guy who did District 12. What's his name?
Neil Blomkamp. Hey, you know what?
Garbage.
He's got his
his
studio now that he just makes like short sci-fi things. Good for him.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think he's coming back though soon to make
think
another
so?
movie. But
Remember, you're supposed to do Aliens like 5 or whatever.
yeah, so
Never
long
happened.
ago.
One of those franchises you just got to kill off. Unfortunately.
No. Let it go full circle. I'm saying Ridley Scott needs. If Ridley Scott can make like
25
5 movies
seconds.
a year, like he's doing right now,
All right.
Okay.
Gucci,
Check.
Lady Gaga, and Adam Driver. That's gonna be such a good movie.
I'm so excited. Adam Driver's in a lot of things these days. I love it.
Check.
And Jake Gyllenhaal's been keeping busy too recently. I think
Check.
it's been a while since we got some good Jake Gyllenhaal content.
Yeah, the Denis project, and did you see that they're doing
He's
a
the
Lilo and Stitch live action? It's
Yeah,
like, why is it crazy?
I put that on my notes for next Wednesday. We got to talk about
Yeah,
that.
I got some thoughts on that. That's
Okay, Jen's
That's what
time
I
is
should
up.
Okay, let's go.
Have we all done
Let's
it?
do this. Yeah.
Was I
Got my
last?
tabs open.
yeah, you were last.
That makes sense. All right, who
Best
would
for
like to go
last.
first?
One of you guys go first.
All right. I will go first. Let me share screen. First category for the audience is in fact scary. So let me just add my screen.
Who's gonna
This
do
is
this
my
for
image of
sure?
choice.
Our podcast.
Ooh,
That's
'Cause,
a
I
good
mean,
one.
that is really
stuff-
good. Crap.
Stuff entering the body, the horror is very off-putting.
Yes.
That is really good. That was one of the more freakier episodes of the Clone Wars because they were trying to get into Ahsoka's nose and mouth and crap. They kept trying to put in her face. That was disgusting. That's a good shot.
Can we all share screen at the same time and I just select who goes on screen?
Can we?
I don't.
Let me see.
think
I never tried share screen.
Actually-
Let me try it out here.
Carson, give it a try.
No, I don't need to see that again.
Oh yeah. Okay, there's Carson. Oh. Ah.
I forgot about these dudes. I think this
Me
is
too.
during an episode of the Clone Wars, obviously, but I don't remember.
Oh, there's a whole
what...
new like. I have to scroll down on like the share screens.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's So put Evan. Oh,
Do you guys see this one?
is this canon?
It's not exactly
Wait.
canon. But
Oh, is it a?
that's a
familiar.
character
What
called
is it?
Abeloth from the Legends material. She played like
Okay.
I
dark
heard
side
about it
demon.
once.
And
That's
yeah,
scary.
I always got freaked out about her because I watched a video about her from a couple of years back when people were theorizing she was
Yeah.
Snoke or whatever. And yeah, the teeth thing and she has the little squid tentacles as for hands.
Why is there a Snoke? Of course, there's a Snoke thumbnhumb next to the picture.
Yeah, I know,
right?
Yeah. Like, come on,
Who uploaded
guys.
Who uploaded it?
I legit think I watched that video.
Who
No.
uploaded it? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
man.
out of Evan's choice, the zombies from Carson and my body horror worms. Who do we think has the best?
That body
I'm
would
really
vote for
dead set on the
himself.
body horror.
I don't want to vote myself. We're not allowed to do that, right? I mean, should we say
I mean,
some
I don't know.
I-
I'm dead
I'd
set on
say-
my body horror.
All right, I say Nathan
Here's
won.
Nathan won that one. Yeah, that was a really good one.
All right. 1 point.
To Gryffindor.
It's a Griffin.
Let me keep track in my private chat. Just
Just
I
tally
wrote-
it down.
all right. All right. So, all right. You guys want me to go first?
Yeah.
I guess we'll
What
go in that
category?
order. We'll go Nathan, Carson, Evan. All right. So, my choice, for cringy is Ray or Palpatine.
Ugh,
How dare you?
I didn't even have time to cringe during that scene.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
just
close.
thinking back on it, it's just so ridiculous. I hate it.
His power.
Carson's choice. Oh, like saying, who saw it coming?
I
I'm so numb
was
to
just
it.
gonna-
I think.
was gonna do the title card of Attack the Clones, but I'm like, I can't do my boy Geonosis like that.
Oh, dang, that's the same one I had.
Can't do Camino like that. All right, and how about you,
Oh.
Evan?
Sorry, yeah.
Evan had the same one.
Carson and
Evan
I
gave
had
up.
the same one, yeah.
Did you just look up a new one, cheater?
No, I mean, I wasn't sharing screen. I clicked share screen.
Okay. Okay. Well,
I
okay.
didn't even
Okay.
type
So,
anything.
all right. So leveling to that point, who do we think had the best Attack of the Clone shot?
Shit. Shoot.
Mine had the quote on it.
Yours, his
did.
did have a quote.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty like direct on there. Okay. So all right. So
I'll
level
give
it
it, I'll give it
to,
to Carson.
so we'll
One
level it
from
to
me.
Carson's quote or my quote. So I don't like sand or Ray, you're a Palpatine.
Oof, man.
I think
It comes
I
down
cringed
to
more during
What's
it
the category
during
again?
sand.
Cringy?
Cringy.
Yes,
I was
cringy.
angered. I had no cringe in
Yeah,
sight.
that's anger inducing. I would go sand because this one's just bad.
Okay.
You watch it, you feel uncomfortable.
Nice.
Even though I would
I'll put it
agree.
in chat, Nathan.
Yeah. Well, let's put our name and number. So. But Nathan won.
Okay.
You put Carson won. Everybody keep track of their own.
There we go.
Okay, so that solidifies that. Nice. All right. Now, next category is cute.
Okay, there we go.
I wonder who we chose. Let's see. My choice. Not only Baby Yoda, I firmly believe this is the cutest shot of Baby Yoda we have ever seen. I really do.
Dang.
I will
that's a
level
good
with
one.
you and say
Crap.
that the shot of him in season 2, episode 1 of him in the little. Oh no, it's season 2, episode 2 of him in the pouch on the speeder going back into town with his
That
ears
was
flopping.
cute. Yeah.
Solid.
I love that shot.
Solid, but I say like the pull down of just like the big old eyes
You're right,
and just
you're
the
right.
softness of that child. Carson. Okay, you know what? I'm
Dang,
feeling
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
It's such a perfect
now-
callback.
I'm about to throw my shot for Carson, but let's see what Evan had real quick.
Ooh.
Scroll down here.
I
Evan's
had
shorts.
this one.
Porgs.
I love him.
Porgs, man.
I specifically chose the one with the Last Jedi when they're watching Chewie eat them.
I love it, dude. I love pork so much. You
Ooh.
know, I will say, like, because normally I would choose porgs, but
Ooh.
Oh,
I
He's
was like
back.
going to like I was gonna remove Evan's thing from the screen, but then he did it himself, and I ended up clicking himself. All right, so I would go porgs, but I mean the added benefit.
Baby Yoda is just freak.
I think I still want to go.
Carson,
with
what was yours
though.
again?
It
Ray
was
fixing
Ray
BB-8
fixing
antenna.
on the Last Jedi. So it's Ray Nobody bonus.
Hey, no, it is a
Mhm.
bonus.
Daisy has a cute smile, so like you've
She
locked
does.
me.
Let's
So I vote Carson.
give it to Carson.
All right.
2 points to
All right.
Gryffindor or whatever. What are you, Ravenclaw? Hufflepuff?
I'm a Gryffindor. Don't worry.
Gryffindor. Okay.
I'm a Hufflepuff.
Don't worry. Yeah, I'm Hufflepuff too. Yeah.
Representing Badger.
Oh, now we gotta do.
My boy.
Sad. My boy. All right, so this is I was
Wrong
trying to think what I
franchise.
wanted to choose. I know, but Hufflepuffs. But all right, so my choice of action for sad was Anakin leaving his mom,
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay.
which I specifically remember was even sadder because I was like I recorded a video of me watching Phantom Menace drunk, and it hit even harder.
I will
but-
see your bet and raise you.
Yeah, you know what? Carson just went all in, and I think he won.
Ooh, what is it? What is it?
Why didn't I think of that?
Ooh, that's
Really?
deep.
There's so
God.
many scenes that are way more sad.
I was thinking of doing that one. I was like, do I find that one? I'm like, somebody might do that one.
I don't know. Oh, Emma's been commenting a lot.
That's good.
Yeah. Quoting,
Can you guys beat this one though?
Gryffindor for the win. What's Evans?
Let me see.
No.
Kanan's death.
Pain.
God, my reaction.
Fine, you win, Evan.
I don't know.
It, especially when Hera finds out. Like, oh man, when she comes back home.
God,
I can feel the pain.
I'm actually because I'm trying to process. I mean, it's going off.
Go watch
Doom.
Go watch Doom.
Oh, okay, but it's going based off the image alone, though.
Yes, yeah,
that's the
true.
thing.
But she's looking at the.
I couldn't. You're right. I could have used the one where it's Kanan against the explosion, but that's more of a like badass, isn't that?
I don't know. If you went with Kanan getting his sight back, looking at Hera, I would have bawled.
That's true.
But literally, physically seeing Ahsoka walk away, I feel like it's hitting me to give it to Carson again.
See,
nobody died.
I'm voting. I voted Evan here.
A friendship.
You walked away. That's a cool moment. That's a sad but cool moment.
A whole way of life, man.
She comes back. Does Kanan come back? Right. I don't think so.
Oh god! I mean, hell, I should have chose the Clone Wars ending or something. I wasted this category. Damn it! I'm mad at myself. I'm just disappointed in myself. Okay, but you know what? For that factor, I will then vote for Evan.
Yeah, I gave it to Evan. Point for Evan.
All right, Evan, put in private chat your name and score.
What's my name?
All right. Navi. It's backwards.
Nice.
All right. So next category is funny.
Avatar.
Oh, funny. Oh, I'm excited for this.
I'm gonna lose this one. I picked a terrible.
I think I'm gonna lose too, but I don't care.
One of my favorite things. The thing I laugh at every time. Porg on the window.
Oh dang, that's pretty good.
That's good.
We're just like. It's the
That's
best,
so good.
Dude. Oh, Carson was a great one.
Same movie. I love the teen.
Oh, that's a
truly
good one.
peak humor.
Dang, I missed. I should have done the Last Jedi because there's so many good beats in the Last Jedi that are hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I should have done so many animated ones for sad, but I didn't.
I picked my boy.
Oh, it's just the pure factor of wow.
That
I was not expecting that.
This guy could have single-handedly ended the Clone Wars.
He just jumps down, just boom, and he doesn't move. He just
He's so. I'm going Evan. That's too funny. His face, dude, sends me every time.
Just saying his name though is hilarious.
What's his name again?
Coleman Trebor. That's awesome.
Coleman.
He got bullied as a kid. I'm sorry.
It's hard. I really do. I think I crack up equally both at Porg on window and Ray getting the slap.
Yeah, the slap one is hilarious.
God, but do we like Carson lead this much?
I know, right?
I'm not voting for I'm voting for Evan on this one. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. That's so funny.
Based on the image, but yeah.
How do we wait? Do we? I guess we
Nathan.
could have you're voting Nathan.
Yeah.
What if we have a tie round? Is there? We have to have a tiebreaker round.
Ooh, that'd be fun. If he comes to
I think we can
Nathan can have it.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say we can make it a stalemate and just see what the other points calculate to. But all right, 2 point.
Yeah, you can have it. We'll move on.
Hey,
I don't need it.
I win my own.
I think I got this next one.
Look really suspicious.
What is this one?
Okay. This one is anger-inducing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somebody else chose Ray Palpatine, but no, I went for anger-inducing.
No.
Anger-inducing. This. What a waste.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
What's the famous quote that he says? He's like, "So shall it got done
as
to me."
Once I fell, so falls the last Skywalker.
So falls the last Skywalker.
Which changes the cooler line of what was it like?
In the trailer, right?
The story of Skywalker.
Yeah,
that line is so awesome, man. From the trailer,
I was so pressed that I rewrote the whole ending and I drew over 300 images to get my point across.
See, I went more broadly with you and just did the entire movie.
I can find some fun in there, but like, I'm not always angry.
I'm always angry. We got the Hulk over here.
Okay, all right, Evan went with.
boy.
Fair.
Force
Fair.
Ghost turning in, not even Force Ghost, turning into, I guess, the Force.
Being
turning
forgotten.
blue.
Yeah, turning blue.
No mention after.
Kissing. No mention afterwards.
I mean, okay, yeah. To
piss
that
me
point,
off.
even more so. That's even more. I'll give it to Evan.
Yeah, I'd say Evan.
All right, point Evan.
Me
Whew.
too.
All right, the next image is satisfying.
Ooh, yeah. This was a tough one because there's so many that you could possibly choose from here.
For sure.
So it's satisfying. What do you got here, buddy?
Everybody else loaded up. All right, so my choice of satisfying.
Nice.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good pick.
See, I was satisfied in that moment, right?
What?
Spoilers.
That's the next category. Damn it.
I thought that was perfect satisfying. I'm like, oh
No.
Anyway,
ooh, that's a good one.
that is a.
Yeah,
that
I
is a
just love
really
this whole moment. It's all
Very nice. Very nice.
full circle moment.
Nice.
And Evan went with.
Oh yeah.
I had to. When I think of best moment in Star Wars, I had to do this one. Throne room scene. It is the most satisfying. The two finally coming together, fighting together. I literally stood up in the theater when this happened. I lost my mind.
I'm at a crossroad because it's interesting. I think I would have, in terms of satisfying for the scene, I think I would have given it to the saber catch specifically.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you would have used the saber catch, I would have.
Ooh. Dang it, I was picking the wrong image.
In a different category, though, I think I would pick this the winner. But
yeah. What did Carson
I'm kind of at a stalemate. I did the Luke on Crave.
I'm a romantic, man. What can I say?
Romantic. I got to take away from Nathan. I'm sorry. Because it's satisfying. I loved it, but it also, there's so much pain in that image because of what comes next and before.
Is Emma the tiebreaker?
Oh, thank you, Emma. Emma's a tiebreaker. She picks me. Let's go with. I mean, Emma's always like.
I go with throne room over. I go throne room over. Kiss.
Fair. Carson, how many points do you have?
2.
You're still. I swear you got more, but all right.
No.
All right. So we're all at 2, or is Evan now at 3?
I'll be at 3 if I win.
Evan will be at 3 if we give him the point.
All right. Well, let's give it to Evan.
I'm probably gonna lose from here on out, but
fascinating. That was for the satisfying category. All right. Well, all right. So next category, disgusting. You all saw my choice.
Yeah, that is pretty foul. That's bad.
It's not just Jabba. It's just like poor Leia.
I would never not be icked out by that scene whenever I watch that movie. Yeah.
I once did a thing where I was I had to do like a reading of like a weekly reading session with my parents, and I was reading a novelization of Return of the Jedi, and I was reading that detailed scene as a 5th grader child, and it felt all sorts of wrong. All right, Carson's choice.
Those spiders, man, were disgusting. They squelched and juiced everywhere. It was horrible.
Ugh. I almost picked that for my scary for the spiders because they're pretty intense in that lighting.
Yeah, that was kind of disgusting.
Yeah, I mean that is gross, but also I've seen Baby Yoda eat like everything at this point. So
yeah, Baby Yoda literally.
We're kind of desensitized, so you're absolutely
right. So come on, Gryffindor, we got.
Do you see mine?
Yeah, here you go. Ah,
Boogle it.
I know the truth.
I forget for the quotes in this movie because I haven't seen it since 2016. But yeah, this scene was foul.
Tend to lose one's mind.
Just because I remember being in theater like this. I remember I never liked this scene. I never will like this scene, and it's absolutely disgusting.
I'm gonna go with Nathan on this.
I might go with Nathan though. Yeah, Nathan's is. You can't get more disgusting than Jabba the Hutt. I didn't even think of that. Dang it.
Yeah, it didn't even cross my mind.
slimy. So gross. All right. Well, I'll update that to
2 more. What do we have here? What's the next category?
Gryffindor gonna come in. Gryffindor gonna come in with the extra points.
I know.
Yeah,
Golden
that's what I'm
Witch.
banking on.
All right. I hate spiders. I am fully Ron, but I'm with Nathan on this one. All right. Thank you, Emma. All right. 2 more categories. This one is beautiful.
Ooh.
No, Jabba, go away. All right. My choice
Beautiful.
of beautiful. Binary Sunset, Last Jedi.
Ooh.
It is
Dang,
beautiful.
It is beautiful. That's a good one. Let me start to share my
Carson
screen.
said, "You can't do this to me. Carson's cheating." You know.
Haha.
Ooh, that's a good one. I also picked a kiss. That's a good one. I didn't
It's
pick a kiss, that's a
bittersweet.
good
But yeah. Evan.
one.
No.
I guess I threw the round, huh? I should have used it right over here. All right.
Use a relationship.
I mean, love is beautiful.
But I might have to give it to Carson though for that one, because that is probably my favorite scene in all of Star Wars. What Carson chose,
I go with mine.
which is the
I
Han and Leia
I do desperately want to get the Han and Leia Funko dual pack that this scene is
Yes.
based on.
Is there one out there?
Yeah, there is one. You can buy it now.
That's a Celebration store.
I don't think so. No, it's
Oh.
pretty public.
Oh, it's just pretty public. Okay, cool.
You can get it on
looking at it.
Amazon. So yeah, that's fair. So we're gonna give it to Carson.
Holy crap! Are we at 333?
Yeah,
No way.
We're at 333.
This is like one of those
Well, this
BS
is the-
reality TV shows where it's like they're all tied. How did that happen?
This is
I didn't even-
we're literally this is the final category.
I didn't even think. I legit
Winner
did
takes
not.
all.
I think I'm gonna
plan on
lose.
that
I'm gonna lose
happening.
this.
Me too. I feel like I didn't pick a. What is this last category? Badass.
Badass.
Yeah, badass.
I didn't pick a badass picture. I was running out of time and I picked a. We'll see. I don't know.
I'm
like
gonna
it.
go in a different order.
I think it's a cool image.
Carson.
Let's see. Ooh, that's a good one.
Picked my boy, Cad Bane.
For the
Just 'cause
right
he does cool
price.
stuff.
Carson
And his
said
hat,
Cad
man. His
Bane.
hat. I just love the hat so much.
Now this is a
Evan's
character
like-
that needs to be in Mandalorian.
Ooh, the sound effects.
That's my
The
badass. hat.
crackle, the freeze. That's pretty great. My
Ooh.
choice of badass was the throne room.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
specifically
that's
the
why-
thigh grab too.
Oh,
Oh, my
I know he did
goodness.
a
Oh,
thigh
yes.
grab too. Frick. Dang Ferrick.
Dank Ferrick, yeah, right.
Oh man, this is a tough one.
Is interesting. That's why I was saying earlier. Is like if you had
I
chosen
know.
the-
I chose it.
I think we gotta go throne room, guys. Like
I
out of
agree.
the three,
That
like
the weight of my heart is the throne room. That's pretty
just
badass.
too much
the thigh
emotion
grab?
linked to that. So much.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
You want a medal? Just kidding. Wait
Yeah.
till the 9th movie and you'll get one.
Yeah, we'll give you a
Shoot.
medal in our later episode.
It's not a reward. It's out of memory. But yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Hufflepuff wins the House Cup.
Where are the bonus points?
Nice.
And to Carson for showing exquisite bravery throughout this entire process. 500 points.
And
we
Slytherin,
definitely
you
got-
guys can go home.
I think a
definitely got
redecoration
going
is in order.
Oh my god. We definitely got to do like another like more rounds of this type of thing. This is
Yeah,
fun.
this
for
was fun.
Stop
That
the
was a lot more
count. Stop the count.
fun.
Count those.
Are you sure there's not any illegal votes in there? I don't know if somebody else put some illegal
Yeah,
votes in the
little
comments.
Tally
the tie
system
broke.
is a little bit sketchy.
Yeah. Are there some mail-in votes coming in later on after the episode ends? or-
Yeah, all these Emma comments came in. What's that about?
Yeah, where did that
Yeah,
come
these are
from?
late. These were not postmarked.
Oh man,
It was live count. Yeah,
this was fun.
that is fun. I didn't think I'd win. I wanted to win. Didn't think I would. But
Yeah, I knew I would drop the ball in the freaking badass image. I was like, I love
I wasn't
this
thinking, 'cause I'm
image.
like, oh, I just gotta finish it, and then
I
of course,
know,
it comes down to
ooh.
the last category.
And he does freaking throne room. Gosh.
Major L.
Major L.
Alrighty. Yeah, I was like scrambling all over on each individual one. I was just like, Throne Room is going to be my magnum opus. I have to save that. That was the right one.
Cinema.
So yeah, that was super fun, guys. I'm glad we could do that. Something different for the channel. Yeah, I think more of these definitely be fun in the future. But yeah, I think that about wraps up our show.
Yep, I believe so.
Good stuff. Thanks for tuning in, Taylor and Emma. So yeah, that was once again super fun. I can stop share screen now. Take that away.
Me too.
So yeah. Had a fun time. Can't wait to be discussing more Hyperspace Hype next Friday on Chapter 12 of The Mandalorian, directed by Carl Weathers. Should be very intriguing. And also, you can catch us talking general movies on My Cup of Tea every Wednesday. So that'll be our next show. That being said, Carson, where could good people find you?
You guys can find me in a Walmart shopping cart, digital shopping cart, failing to acquire said Sony PlayStation 5. Otherwise, I'm on Twitter at the Film Carson, talking all things, mostly just stressing about the world. But movies are cool too, I guess. Yeah, can't wait to talk about all of our topics next week. And we're getting to the second half of the season, and I'm so excited to see where this goes because we have not seen an ounce of where it's going.
Yeah. Evan, where could the good people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Heiress EV9, having to resort to my PS4 to watch CBS All Access and HBO Max because it's not on the PS5 for some weird reason. They should really get that fixed out. I want to watch my Survivor and my Amazing Race and my Big Brother. I know. Thank you. Carson knows. Big Brother. And yeah, I did get the PS5, so I'll be playing some Miles Morales over the weekend. Might post some videos or images on my Twitter account. And then, yeah, I can't believe we're going to be halfway through the season starting next week. So that should be fun on The Mandalorian.
And as always, you can find me here on the channel. Maybe we'll plug stuff this time. I'm presently speaking, reacting to Teen Wolf 3 times a week. Currently already complete on season 1. It's a phenomenal show. Emma will also tell you she's a super fan. Everybody of my chat.
So you are liking the show. People keep recommending that show to me. I might have to. Where do you watch it?
I mean, growing up, like my good friend who very much mimics a character on it, Dylan O'Brien's character. He I
like Dylan. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he grew up watching it too, like back when it was actually on. So I'm happy to be getting into it because I was actually surprised like how atmospheric it is. Like yeah, it's like you got the teen element for sure, but it's I really like the supernatural lore that they implement. It's really fun. It's the characters are a hoot. It's great.
Wow. 80 years old.
Yes. Just as well, you can find me on trying to fix my webcam so I will not screw up another Mandalorian reaction. And you can find me on Twitter at NathanRoss5. And again, all of our links in the description down below. So with that being said, if you did in fact enjoy our podcast, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if not already. And that being said, I hope you have a great day. And may the force be with you always.